What's up, everybody? What is up, Team Furious? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, wherever it is that you are in this world. Hopefully you are having an awesome day and hopefully you're doing well. I wanted to answer a question that I asked on Twitter. Just ask any questions that you guys may have. So this came up and it's a big one, and I think it's really important, especially as for beginners or even intermediates, or just anyone that's trying to gain weight, bulk up, but is having, difficulty doing so, especially with the amount of food sometimes that is needed, and it becomes kind of difficult and frustrating to get all the calories that you need to get. So the question was, and I will read it from my Twitter feed for you guys right here, right now, is it really necessary to eat 5+ meals a day to gain a lot of size, or is 3 decent sized meals a day okay? Okay, so let's talk about this, okay? It's very, very straightforward. Not really. It can be. Here's the thing. It all depends on how much you can eat. I think for the most part, people have always recommended doing 5, 6, 7 meals because there's so much food that you need to eat that sometimes it becomes difficult to eat just 3 meals a day, rather than eating, 5, 6, 7 meals and spreading that food out. So for a lot of people, it's because it's too much food to eat, right? So let's say you need to eat 5,000–6,000 calories in a day in order to gain weight. You have a very high metabolism, and that's how many calories you need to eat, right? So if that is the case, if you were to just do 3 meals a day, that would be about 2,000 calories every single meal. And for a lot of people, that's a lot. I mean, it is a lot for anyone, to be honest, in every single meal to have 2,000 calories. To be able to digest all of that, make sure you're ready for the next meal, and so that you can become very uncomfortable. So let's say you're starting off with breakfast and it's 2,000 calories, and right away you're just you become kind of sluggish for the day, right? Especially at the start when you're not used to ingesting so many calories, right? And then the next meal that comes up is going to be your lunch, which is going to be another 2,000 calories, and sometimes you're going to just dread looking at that. Sometimes it becomes much more easier, for example, if you're doing 6,000 calories, to do 1,000 calories at every meal. Because first of all, it digests a little bit better. You're eating half the food, and then you're eating a few hours later. You're eating more frequently, that's for sure, which isn't necessarily the easiest of things to do for some people, which is why I will say that you can just do 3 meals a day. You can do 3 meals a day, but it's just more difficult sometimes. It's just more difficult on the body, difficult for you to digest, and difficult just to execute and do on a regular basis. So I would say, if you don't necessarily require that many calories, let's say you only need 3,000 calories a day to gain weight, because that is the reality for some people. That is 1,000 calories every meal, or 500 calories every meal. So this is really personal preference. When I'm bulking, I like to do what I call a term. If you've actually downloaded, or if you follow the Ultimate Mass Gainer program, there is a terminology within there that I call grazing, and that is pretty much I go really in depth into it, but to put it simply, it's pretty much you're eating all day. You're eating little amounts of food all day long. And so let's say you have to eat 10,000 calories, 10,000 calories a day to gain weight. Let's just say, hypothetically, that's how many calories you need to eat. So that would mean, by the grazing method, is that you are trying to eat all day long, trying to snack all day long. You have meals, but in between meals, you're going to have little amounts of food. And so that way, I feel, is a lot better on your entire digestion. You're able to just constantly feed the furnace, feed the machine, right? And it constantly digests, and you're constantly feeding your body into recovery, making sure you're ingesting enough nutrients to constantly recover, right? So with that being said, this is always going to be personal preference, in my opinion, but from experience, I feel like spreading out meals is going to be more beneficial. And along with that, I also feel like your energy levels are a lot better. But there's a lot of people that will argue this. You know, there's a lot of people that do intermittent fasting, right? And they have to stuff all their calories into a certain window, and that works for some people. I've tried it before. It doesn't work for me. I prefer to eat all day long and have adequate energy throughout the day, and that's what works for me. But everybody is different, and everybody also has different kinds of schedules. You know, your work schedule might not allow you to do that sort of thing. You know, you might not, intermittent fasting might be perfect for your work schedule. Also, it might be impossible to do the methods that I was talking about, grazing and trying to eat all day long, right? So that might not work for you. And the fact that, you know, 3 meals a day is going to work for you, even though it might not make you comfortable. So I think it all depends on how many calories you need to eat, how many calories you're capable of eating in one meal, and how you actually react to it. I think that is very, very important. So you want to make sure that you evaluate all this stuff every single time when you are figuring out how much, you know, how many meals to eat to gain weight. So make sure that you take all those factors into consideration, and then figure out exactly how many meals you should be eating. My opinion, it's going to be more meals, the better. The better you're gonna feel, the more energy you're gonna have, the better digestion you're gonna have. That's my experience over the years. It's worked for me. I went from 120 pounds to, I'm 250 pounds right now. I'm actually 240. Kind of cut down a little, trying to get a little shizzled, trying to get a little sizzled. No, not really, because I just ate and now I feel fat. So it worked for me. That's what worked for me. There's obviously a lot of methods, a lot of people that have gained, you know, good amount of mass and know what they're doing. But that is my opinion, coming straight from me, from experience, not from books and science and all that. So that is my question. If you guys have any other questions, ask me on Twitter. Twitter handle name is Furious Pete. Link down below. Follow me on there and ask me whatever you guys want next. Catch you guys later. As always, my friends, give this video a thumbs up. Comment below. We'll catch you guys later. Stay sexy, stay hungry, get gains, get laid.